Harry Brook has a control percentage of 20% after 5 balls, meaning only once did he actually follow through with his intended plan for a delivery. The score was 25 for 3, and he was on a hat trick when he was facing his first ball. For his third, he dances down the wicket to try and smash the ball past mid-off. He misses. Harry Brooks is not a number 5. He's vibes and screaming, 9-inch nails running down a chalkboard. He's riding a motorbike through a desert with no helmet on. Rishabh Pant is also not a number 5. He's too sexy to be in this spot. He's like a burlesque dancer bringing you Deliveroo. He's too limited, cavalier, and has to spend his own innings telling himself to behave like a grown-up. It's an odd sight, like watching a young boy wear a suit and tie for the first time and he can't stop tugging at his collar. Your auntie might go on about Shiv Narayan Chandrapal and Steve Waugh. But the number 5 slot has changed. It's bolder, brasher, and louder than ever before. It used to be filled with batters who were a little bit more limited against the new ball. Now it's been taken over by guys who will run through lightning with their dicks out. This is the age of the attacking 5s.
And despite this new method of whacking the ball everywhere, since 2018 and the pace-playing pandemic, number 5s are averaging the same as number 4s. And that is usually in modern cricket where the best batter is. Number 5 has never been that. Yet they average as much as 4s now. Travis Head, Harry Brook, Rishabh Pant and co are playing shots and scoring runs at a rate that we haven't seen from this position before. It isn't that number 5s haven't had great years. From 1920 to 1994, there were 7 different years which they topped the charts. However, that number has increased to 11 in the last 31. That is a seismic shift in cricket culture. In the mid-90s, we saw the change. Steve Waugh, Andy Flower, Mohammad Yusuf, Mohammad Azharuddin and Graham Thorpe all stand out. 2008 to 2014, we had Chandrapal, AB de Villiers and Michael Clarke. All these batters are all-time greats, or at the very least, greats for their countries. But the way that 5s have attained success since 2018 is very different. They have collectively been the fastest scoring batting position. And that has become even more prominent over the last few years. Teams nowadays look at their number 5 as the player who can do the most damage. Test cricket has gone from the grit and grind nature of Waugh, Flower and Chandrapal to the chaos of Pant, Brook and Head. Pant's run down and heave is the new soft-handed block for a single from Waugh. Why wait for a bowler to get you out when you can just scoop him over second slip's head and look good doing it? Number 5s are the rock stars of the batting order right now. Live free, die young and leave a good-looking corpse.
Ross Taylor couldn't see at night or when the clouds were in. Eventually he had to see an eye specialist who would fix his eyesight. In the 2 years before the change, he still averaged more than 50 in international cricket. The top level of batting talent can basically see in the dark. That is who we are talking about in our new book, The Art of Batting. Head over and order your copy today.
We could split from 1995 through to now in 3 distinct eras. The late 90s were certainly a bowler's paradise. Fast, mean, and slightly unhinged bowlers were everywhere. Then came the batter's golden era. Big bats, flat decks, and the boundary ropes practically at the slips. That lasted until the bowlers got their revenge with wobble balls, result pitches, and a reinforced seam that never dies. Compared to the previous 17 years, there's a significant drop-off in the averages of almost every bowling position, and a relatively smaller one. Clearly, bowling attacks have been dominant in the last 7.5 years. The first period had better bowling at number 1, and very close from 2 to 4, and worse at 5. And you might be wondering why the depth of the attack matters so much. It's because a bowling side wants to be able to put pressure on the opposition's batters, even after their main guys take a break. That is Test cricket's big difference from first class. In the domestic game, you are surviving 1 or 2 bowlers, maybe for only a couple of spells. Test cricket attacks are much more relentless, and that is certainly what we've seen in modern cricket. When we look at the batting, we really see this. Although the top 3 batters have similar returns, numbers 4 and 5s are worse off in the modern era. But compared to the batting dominant period, number 5s have the smallest drop-off. And wobble balls aren't just messing with the batters, they're rewriting entry points. Number 5s are clocking in earlier than ever, parachuted into a wildfire. In the wobble ball era, the median entry point for the number 5s is the 25th over. That is about 6 overs sooner than for their counterparts in the previous 16 years. It means that they face a relatively newer ball in an era against better and deeper bowling attacks, while also teams are hunting for World Test Championship points by making result pitches at home. And how does all that affect batting returns? Well, when they come in before that, the global average is 33. That rises up to nearly 42 when they come in a more favourable entry point. But even the various number 5s have different kinds of patterns. For instance, 2 Pakistani players, Fawad Alam and Saud Shakil, actually perform a lot better when there is a crisis. Johnny Bairstow and Ajiki Rahane have a similar pattern as well. Angelo Matthews does well right across it, although he does seem to prefer the tougher challenge. Punt and Bavuma are the opposite. They do well when they come in early, but they are next level when they come in with a set platform behind them. Brook has almost been as good regardless of where he comes in. And we see that a bunch of batters have much better averages when they come in against the older ball. So they come in early, but still do well. But 2018, that was when it all started. And 2022, that was the summer of Johnny Bairstow, hitting like he was mad at the ball. Suddenly, number 5 isn't just a role, it's a cultural revolution. In the 8 calendar years in this time period, number 5s have the best average in 2018, 2019, 2022, and 2024. Their collective runs per dismissal in 2022 was better than any other batting position in any calendar year in this duration. Apart from 2018, they also have the highest strike rate every year. For a good 3-year period from 2022 until 2024, they were outstriking the others very comfortably. Finally, though, the openers have caught up with them. And when you think of fast-scoring batters at present, the obvious names, apart from Ben Duckett, who clearly invented attacking batting, it's mostly Pant and Head and Brook, all number 5s. Even Kamindu Mendes and Dinesh Chandimal strike at above 60 runs per 100 balls in that spot. That would actually be really fast in any other era, but seems more normal now. And for a lot of those guys that were mentioned, they also have a strong case to be made that they have been the best batters in their sides at various points. They do this by rattling bowling attacks because of their stroke play. These are not just blind sloggers. There is an absolute method to their madness. There's a 9-run drop-off if you're a number 5 and you have to go in before that medium point that we mentioned before. Obviously, it's tricky as hell. But the strike rate in those knocks is nearly the same. Many of these guys just hit back hard. Early entry takes some runs off. But these guys are driving into a storm at 200 kilometers an hour with the stereo cranked all the way up. Take Pant, for instance. His strike rate is about 15 more when he comes in early. His way of dealing with a crisis is by counter-attacking even more. He's a firefighter using blue flames to attack red ones. Pant's solution to early chaos? Escalate it. Brook? He just doesn't seem to care either way. These aren't just aggressive players like we had in the past. This is a form of batting by disruption. Bairstow, Saud, Assad and Duplessis have all had similar trends as well. Of course, Brook, Head and Mendes bat faster when they come in later. But they're amongst the fastest scoring batters either way. And to go back in time a little bit, the run rate trends have changed a lot in the previous 2 eras. Especially in the latter half of the 1990s. Back then, 4s were the quickest, and 5 struck at just around 45. In the 17 years that follow, scoring rates were relatively more uniform right across the board. In the last 7.5 years, 5s have seen their strike rate boosted the absolute most. 3 of the last 4 decades, number 5s have averaged better than the players at one down. This decade is the biggest difference ever. Right now, we are living in the world of the false 3s and the attacking 5s. Pant and Brook at 5 is strange. It's like throwing a cat in a bathtub full of kids. Someone is going to get hurt, but there is a reason modern batting looks like this. And there is a clue that we mentioned earlier when it comes to the mid-90s. In fact, before that, we need to go back further. When cricket started, it was obviously dominated by English thinking, which was in fact dominated by English weather. In seaming conditions, you probably want your best batters as high up the order as you can to nullify the moving ball, and allow for the other batters to come in later. But other cultures don't always have as much carnage up top, so why would they want to waste their best player in the top 3 against the dangerous ball? So the first move was the best bat going from number 3 to number 4, which we saw through Sachin Tendulkar batting at second drop. A generation earlier, he would probably be at 3. Then Brian Lara and Jacques Kallis moved there. That change started to happen in the mid-90s, and what do you know? It's when we saw number 5s get good. Number 3 has never been more removed from the best batting spot than it is right now. In current Test cricket, we either have these false 3s, backup openers, or middle order players inserted because the first drops just aren't making runs in domestic cricket. The false 3s that we see now, Jacob Bethel, VM Mulder, Moeen Ali, and Raymond Reifer, are all directly related to the fact that there is more batting talent coming in later. So when the number 3 position changed, so did 4 and so did 5. There was a chain reaction down the order. So that explains the more runs, but not the attacking. Runs per over dipped at the start of the pace playing pandemic. Teams tried to defend it, but this new style of bowling cut through them quickly. And then they decided they had to attack. They're still going out quite fast, but they're scaring some bowlers along the way. And in the last few years, the entire world is attacking more now. This is simple economics. You used to make your money batting for Test cricket, whether that was attack or defend, or hopefully a perfect blend of both. But now the market says that attacking shots are worth more, and so people are much better at playing them. A generation ago, when a bowler was attacking the outside edge on a length, the batter would try and knuckle down, get it through it with a couple of leaves and some soft hands. Harry Brook is just as likely to slog the same delivery over long on. Rishabh Pant might run at it. Both are thinking the same thing. If they pull this off, the bowler will not be able to automatically deliver their best ball. And then you have to add in the changes in ball. The wobble ball and reinforced kookaburra means that the seam lasts for longer and ensures that wickets fall earlier. It means that hiding your best player at number 4, 90s style, no longer really works. The logic is almost mathematical. If you shift your most talented batters down the order because early batting is treacherous, and simultaneously create a system where the biggest financial rewards go to those excelling in limited overs formats, you're engineering a particular outcome. A generation of highly skilled number 5s, all trained to drive fast on icy roads. The equation looks something like this. Or, as your Excel friend might put it, but this isn't about maths, is it? It's about vibes. Rock and roll batting and just getting shit done. Your grandpa might have nudged, but these kids slap. Test 5s are fighting fire with Molotov cocktails. They are making runs though, and even when they fail, they often leave a good-looking corpse. Rishabh Pant and Harry Brook aren't traditional number 5s. They're punk 5s.
Brian Lara used pot plants to work on his placement. John Wright glued his glove to his bat. Sachin Tendulkar dug up practice pitches. Tatenda Taibu cut the top off his bat. Claire Taylor used a hockey grip. Steve Smith was from tennis. Dean Jones would call phantom runs. And Victor Trumper turned the nets into a war zone to survive. The best batters in the world do whatever they have to make runs. We have told their stories in our new book, The Art of Batting.